A new OECD report has shown that Australia is lagging behind the rest of the world when it comes to childcare enrolment rates for 3- and 4-year-olds. This is despite strong evidence that kids who attend at least 2 years of early childhood education perform better at school. Here's Connolly, President of the Australian Childcare Alliance in New South Wales.
We're not doing very well, I'm sad to say. You know, we're below average, as you say, with the 3- to 4-year-old enrolments on OECD countries. We're 30 out of 35 in the percentage of spend or investment in early childhood education as a percentage of GDP. So it's really quite outrageous. Countries, Sweden and Ireland are already at 30 hours early childhood education for their children. England's moving to 30 hours under the Jobs for Families package next year. Children who are currently able to access 24 hours of early childhood education will be cut back to 12 hours. And there is a cohort of Australian children who will not receive any early childhood education funding at all, and that is the families who, one parent working and one parent at home, earning $65,710 or more. So I don't know about you, but that's not a lot of money to pay your rent and rear your family and feed them and have any money left over for early childhood education. And all the evidence is there. The PISA report, the Program International Student Assessment, shows that early childhood education, the children fare better, who have it, fare better at and perform much better at age 15. Years ago, the Perry Preschool report came out and showed that for every $1 spent on an early childhood education, governments get a return of $7.
So what's stopping parents accessing early childhood education? They don't have access on
available. There's an abundance of places available. There's an abundance of places available. There's absolute oversupply. There's centres who have already closed down. The community-based sector, there is, particularly in the regional areas, they also are having trouble trying to remain viable because of low occupancy, as is the private sector as well. Centre in the CBD of Sydney's already closed. Centre at Mount Druitt's already closed. So it's a huge problem.
So it's the cost.
It is the cost, yes, and the cost was generated by regulation changes, and that's okay if government wants to change regulations, but if it forces up the cost of care, the government then has to put their hand in their pocket so that children aren't locked out.
Does the report go into how many hours each week kids should receive in order to reap the benefits?
Yeah, the smart countries are moving to 30 hours a week, so I'd say the research is there to support 30
hours a week for each child?
Yes, early childhood education. So that enables them to attend at least 3 days a week of early childhood education. It's just horrendous. You know, Norway and Sweden are spending 2% of GDP. Finland, the Russian Federation, Chile, Denmark are spending in excess of 1%. Even New Zealand's, a small country like New Zealand, spending 0.9%, and we're on 0.5%. It's outrageous. This is not a third world country. We've got to do better for our children. If we want to have a smart country, we have got to educate our children. That is where the start comes. The first 5 years of life, 385% of the children's brain growth in the first 5 years. We must capture that. We must.